So today I want to talk to you about how to build a strong mind using adversities. So how do can you even have a strong mind if you don't have adversities? Or can you even have a strong mind when you don't have challenges and when you're not participating in challenges? And this is actually a very, very good question. One of my friends, one of my close friends actually asked me. He asked me, can a mind be strong if there's no adversities? That's a great question because the answer I gave it to him is that if you need adversities to show that you have a strong mind, that's what you will get. So, for example, say that a mind does feel, in fact, fairly weak, right? It feels fairly weak. So what does the mind needs to do in order to feel strong? It needs to go through adversities. So you see what I mean? We sometimes in most of in our life, we takes and puts self-induced adversities and challenges in front of our life so that we can feel good about them after we come through them. This is a very common thing the human mind does, and I feel like I do all the time, where when I'm insecure about myself or whatever, I just pile up new things for me to do in front of me, take on courses, apply for another job, see if I can get it, get interviews, these many I do almost synthetic artificial things that I put in front of me, to show me, look, oh look, I'm okay now. I've gone through a little bit of adversities. I was able to come across that. Now my ego is pleased. Now I feel a little bit better. So I feel like most of you guys are kind of developing even your stronger mind. So it's to please your ego rather than developing a stronger mind, to actually, help another human being. So which is a very difficult way to develop your minds, because if you're not truly worrying about, servicing another and giving your services to others for their benefit, this way of this way of looking at it can give you a little bit of heartache and difficulties, especially these adversities, harder to deal with by yourself, right? If these challenges are harder to deal by yourself, it will be a little bit difficult for you, right? So that's what I think. So be careful the amount of the challenges that you're taking on your life. What I say is that limit yourself to only the ones you take on. Limit your challenges to the ones you want to take on. Instead of dealing with 5, 6 challenges, limit to one or two, and then make sure that your house is clean, you're taken care of, you rest properly, you go to sleep, you brush your teeth, do the basic stuff properly. Feel like you're in control of your challenges. You don't need challenges to make you feel that you're a strong person. I think it's very artificial. I think it's a way of you trying to put more challenges in front of you so that you can feel good about yourself when you do come across. I know, going through challenges, coming across them is the most beautiful thing. Think about it, right? Like, if you're again going watching sports or something, isn't much more fun to watch a game that is close, that are either losing or winning by 1 or 2 points or tied until the fourth half, or if the game to be by some your team is winning by like 30 points. What's more fun to watch? You fall asleep watching the team that you're winning if your team is winning by 30 points. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's a more of a challenge, for all of us to watch it, even for us to even watch the game when the game is tied up, right? So that's, think about these things. So don't just put challenges into your life just to check if your mind is strong. I think nurturing your mind, supporting your mind, and making sure not you're just doing to please your ego or your personhood or your identity, I think that's key, because I think that kind of takes us in the wrong direction sometimes, and forcing and feeding us to do things that we don't want to do, and then our ego gets gets us in trouble, and then we have to deal with all the other challenges that came because of the ego's directions and our our inclination to do them. So this is what I mean. Always think about before you put another challenge in yourself and things like that. You might be saying to me, how am I putting challenges for myself, right? Well, it's the same way when you're in university, you're going to take a course, right? Rather than taking five courses at everybody, take your two courses. Take up, instead of take two courses, take one courses, take your time, understand how things are moving. Once you master a process, then take more courses. Take one or two courses, watch a little bit more movies, or go, watch a little bit of TV shows, but do something more creative. Take an art class or something. Enjoy your work. Enjoy your learning. Well, this is not you're trying to do many things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is chill your mind, relax your mind. Once you have a proper process of getting things done, then go full out. Then you have a proper process, then you can be successful. Then go full out. Until then, make sure that you can get into a proper process, and keep your mind relaxed, and then take the opportunity and go forward with full steam. And I also recommend, if you have a hard time in your life, rest often and start often, right? And this is one of the best ways you can continually do and have consistency in your life, when you do decide to rest often and start on the all the endeavors you participate in. So that's I think that is important to remember, that adversities are very interesting, because yeah, you can be actually strong without your adversities, but it doesn't mean that, that's the thing, like, just because you're trying to prove something, you could be doing these things and feeling good about and feeding your ego. Or you can be like, look, this is something I have overcome, and I have made my mind strong enough to overcome something else. If you just simply think of it that way, things will be a lot more easier, instead of just associating to your ego. Because what happens is that if you associate it to your strength of your mind, or if you associate the fact that you got over your adversities fairly quickly and over them, and you went through them victoriously, if you attach it to your ego, and if you have similar adversities coming in your life, and if you can accomplish them, you will be harder on yourself, because now you would think, oh, do like, oh my god, well, whoever, I'm not able to do that as I used to, so therefore I'm a weaker person now. Well, that's not the case at all. Maybe you weren't prepared, right? So what I'm saying is, don't judge yourself just by the events, if you're not mind strong and things like that. Understand, this is the state of my mind right now. It's weak when it comes to this stuff. It's strong when it comes to this stuff, right? But don't take on adversities just because you want to, but process them, think about them, ask yourself, what are the challenges I want to participate in? When you talk to billionaires, when you try to, like, understand what they do, when you read books about what they have done, when you talk to these guys, yeah, they take a lot of risk. But what the thing is, what you need to understand is that they are a lot more strategic when it comes to their risk taking. They say that you have to take. You hear, all these guys say you need to take big risk, big risk. Yes, I agree. But the thing is, what you guys need to understand: if you take risks that the probabilities are stacked for you, and if you take more of them continuously, it has the same effect, because every time you make a play, you have a higher chances that you will be successful. Well, that's a good chance that, if you continue to make those calls and you continue to do what you will be doing, it will bring you a lot of results. The same thing as, start often and, rest often, start often. Every time you rest, taking a break, and then every time you start, that period you will do well. So that's how you improve your odds of being successful in something. So if you take more of start often, then if you accumulate it over sometimes days, years, months, and go on and so forth, and if you do something with something you like to do, you can create something very beautiful, right? So if you were to look at it this way, well, where is the adversity then? You can be like, look, there's like 10 million steps to climb. But you'd only start climbing when you feel rested, and then you stop when you're feeling a little tired, and you start again and rest again, and you stop again and you start again. If you keep doing that, where's the adversity? All you had would be now would be somebody would be looking at it, they could be like, oh, this guy's super persistent. Exactly. You didn't stop. But it's that our ego pushes us to do things too fast that gets us into trouble. Makes you wear out, and makes our adversities and an emotional matter, an emotional battle, not only a physical, a mental battle. Now it has become an emotional battle, because every time we start something, it hurts like hell. So our adversities are becoming more catastrophized, right? Like more become dangerous situations, right? So be aware of these things, right? If you once you aware, and if you have a proper strategy to approach your life, I don't think even adversities have a much of an effect on you. I think you will go through your adversities, or what I call self-induced challenges. I think you will go through them fairly effectively. I don't think you won't be battling with them. You will be just flowing through them like water. I think that's one of the biggest things I can encourage you to try out is rest often, and start often. Right? So don't force anybody or anything. Even if I come and give you advice, don't even force me to take you an action that you're not ready. Once you feel ready, okay, this is what I need to do. If you feel rested, if you're good to go for it. Like, what is the hurry to get to a place? I know everybody's like, so quickly to fire you, or drop you from a promotion or whatever. Fair enough, I understand. Why are we attaching ourselves to these external things? How long are we gonna do that? When are we gonna unretired over that stuff yet? You'll be able to actually, end of the day, take care of more of yourself and more of the other person, and actually produce the work that you truly care about, and that you're truly capable, if you're rested properly and have the best interest to produce the highest quality of work. That's the right thing to do, right? I think it's your responsibility to make sure that you're rested, so you do perform the best quality of work. I think it's your responsibility to do that. I don't think that's I think that's being lazy, or that's being selfish. I think the fact that you take your time to rest, think about the work, and you do a proper job, I think you will become a lot more efficient and a lot more creative, and you almost become a craftsman, I feel. That's how they, if you look at people who create beautiful artwork and things like that, they take their time, they enjoy their work. So rest often, and then start often. And that will help you a lot of with your adversities in your life, and the challenges. And I think that will give you a good way to step your things out, and think about what are even the steps you need to do in the future, when you're resting during the periods of rest. Plan out how you need to reorganize your thought patterns, or how you need to plan your actions going forward. It gives you another nice little break to kind of refine your thinking, and refine on how to approach problems. So approach these things when it comes to adversities in your life. I don't think adversities doesn't need to be something that is bigger than it is. You can drop any of these adversities if you wish. If you might have, technically speaking, some of these adversities can be coming from your family. Maybe your family member could be sick, and whatnot. I'm running through that kind of situation right now. I have, one of my close family members is in the ICU right now, right? So what I asked him, have I done my best for him? Right? Have I given my best for him? Right? So if I have, and if I've done my best, then I don't have anything to worry about, right? But just easy to say, I know, easy to say. But like I said, one of my family members in the ICU, and then as long as I make sure that I think about the right, I make sure I do the right thing, and well, then I have nothing to worry about, right? If something bad or negative happens to it, well, then I do have to accept that. But this is an adversity. If my emotions are making this situation even worse, and if I can make the right decision that is necessary for my family, and for him, right? So, adversities are, I feel a lot of the time these are self-induced. As long as we try to continue to do the right thing, as we think it is, and then we can, if you when we look back and say, what, we did the right thing even at that time, I think we will be okay. I think we'll be, in a pretty good mindset. So I'm saying at the end, the message is like, don't let your adversities get to you, because it's unnecessary. It's not always necessary, and a lot of these things are self-induced, especially if these adversities are coming from your work, or school or whatnot. Make sure you prioritize family and friends, and your health. If you find, you know if you don't know how to value these things, right? So I would say, health, family, those things you need to care, if you especially, if you want to make sure that you want to bring a lot of value to the world. These things, something that you can choose to care about more deeply. So so that's why you can sometimes you need to restructure how you look at your life to figure out where your adversities are coming from, your challenges are coming from. And then pick and choose the one you want to work on right now, and the other ones, just keep them away. You can take many adversities and challenges in your life, and it will be a never ending matter, right? That we know that. So there will be there for you, there will be many opportunities for you to get, struggle in your life and things like that. So take care of the business now. Don't unnecessarily get into other people's stuff. Don't unnecessarily look into what other gossip about other people's life. You have a lot of things you can do on your own. There's a lot of growth that you can develop on your own. The only reason you're paying attention and feeling jealous or whatever about other people when you look at their Instagram or Facebook or whatever, the only reason you feel that you want to look at these other things, and sometimes you feel great, when you watch other people, and then sometimes you feel depressed, and then sometimes the only way you can feel good about yourself when other people are having difficulty. See, it's this absolute craziness is what I'm talking about. It's like, why do you think good things will happen to you if you're wishing every time you look at another person that something negative should happen to them? If imagine everybody runs around the world, thinks about everybody, each other that way, even including yourself. You know, so what kind of difficult life is that? So, do you have to live that way? If you can't, I understand. That's how you wish to be. You wishing to be feel victimized by the world, and if you that's which you wish, that's okay. But what I'm saying is that, develop a little bit of more self-direction. Pick and choose your adversities, pick and choose your challenges until you have a better grasp of them, and then attack them one at a time. Use the rest often and start often technique or strategy to go through, and then go through them like water. Go through your challenges like water. You don't need to be too hard on yourself. Your challenges will be there. You don't need to do things, being impatient. You don't need to, serve your ego that way. Do what the right thing is, regardless, no matter what you take up on to do. Adversities are there for you to benefit you, not to benefit the adversity or the challenge, right? So remember that. Amen.